If you ever wonder why good things do tend to happen to you but they never last, this episode is going to change your perspective. Hi everyone, welcome to Loba Speaks. I am your host, Great, and this is episode 4 of Loba Speaks. And in today's conversation, we are going to be talking about why you might be experiencing what would seem like a loop or a forward and pause type of momentum. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Do not forget to subscribe, leave us a comment and a like. And if you are listening on Spotify, do not forget to give us a follow and a 5-star rating. We appreciate it. So I'd like to have a conversation about how it's possible for good things to happen to you but not last. It's possible for good things to happen to you in momentums, in loops, and then a pause. And it's possible that good things happen to you, but it might feel like a false new beginning. And I would like for us to have a conversation about what that might look like, why it happens, and how to make it stop, or how to regulate your nerve system, how to regulate your mindset so that you are able to be aware of the patterns and change them. So yes, it's very possible for blessings to show up in your life, and for your manifestations to come into fruition, for your prayers to be answered, for your visualizations to actually play out in front of you. But then it's almost like the moment you got a grip of it, you lose it almost immediately. Like it never really blooms into what you expect it to be. It never really lasts as long as you expect it to last. And especially Africans, when such things happen, we tend to blame it on witchcraft, or that colleague that hates you, or you're just simply cursed. And half of the time that's not even the case. Half of the time it's actually your mindset. So it's a thing of your mindset versus witchcraft right now. As humans, as Africans, we do speak on like generational curses and generational wealth, but I want to focus on the generational curses. Sometimes when something good just happens, especially when you announce it, and then it's almost like announcing it jinxed it for you, and the first thing that most people will say is, oh my god, my village people have come again, my village people have got me again. And you will come to find out that the issues you're actually having has nothing to do with other entities giving powers and glorifying witchcraft or evil people for your losses. Sometimes it's your mindset. And when I speak on mindset, I mean in the sense that you might actually be the one sabotaging your own blessings. Let me explain. So if you're someone who lives and breathes fear, or someone who feels like they are not worthy of good things, someone who is not open to actually receiving blessings without having to struggle for it, it's not witchcraft. It's probably the fact that you are not used to good things happening to you. And when that happens, that triggers something in your mind, in your body, in your nerve system, that this is not right, and you unconsciously start looking for ways to destroy the manifestation that you brought into life. You unconsciously try to push it away. You unconsciously try to pull away from it because no, this is too good to be true. And I want us to separate this from the fact that there can be false new beginnings. Let me explain. So when I say false new beginnings, you know how you would pray for a job, for example, and you would get the interview, you would do the interview, everything is looking great, all the tests that they gave you, all the loops and hurdles that they expect you to jump, you got it right, and you still end up receiving a message that says, oh, unfortunately we're not going to move forward with your application or the position that we had you in mind for, because we have someone else who is more qualified for it. And in your mind, you're already like setting the tone. You were already happy. You were already in a space where you were appreciating the opportunity, because everything felt like a green light, green light, green light. That's what I mean by a false new beginning. It's very different from when your mind is so pessimistic and just not in alignment with what you want. Again, it's not always generational curses, right? It's the cycle that you are stuck in, the cycle of you not being open to great things happening to you, good things coming to you, and last of the time it's actually your mental conditioning and the feeling of, I'm not worthy of this good thing happening to me. Who am I to actually have a good job, have a soft life, have money come to me easily? Who am I to not have to struggle to get the things that I want? And that has nothing to do with witchcraft. It literally has everything to do with how you think and how you have conditioned your mind to accept things. Most of the time, we sabotage our blessings, we sabotage our calling, we sabotage our relationships because of how we have conditioned ourselves, how we think, because of how we have conditioned ourselves, because how we think, I'm never worthy, I'm not worthy of this person, I'm so out of their league, I'm not worthy of this job, it pays me too well, I'm underqualified, I'm not worthy of just being able to be and have opportunities come my way. That is not witchcraft. Again, that is you, that is your mindset, that is how you've conditioned yourself, and it might not be something that you're consciously aware of. It's probably most of the time happening with you not being aware of the choices that you're making, the words that you're speaking, how your mind works in a certain way that is actually sabotaging your blessings, that is making you attract good things but not fully accepting it, not regulating your nerve system to accept that yes, I am worthy of good things happening to me, and for them to happen frequently, and for them to come, and for them to last. Now there's this phrase that is skipping my mind, but I think it's this phrase called all good things must come to an end, or good things never last, or something along that line, and that is very false. Again, words are very powerful. The words that we affirm into our lives, the thoughts that we think about ourselves are very powerful. And I love speaking on thoughts because I've seen it work. I'm living proof that your thoughts do create your reality, right? And if you've been listening to me, you would know that I'm big on how your mental works, on how you speak to yourself, on how you use your words, on your mind, how your mind works, and how powerful it is to create. So it's all about speaking life into yourself. It's all about reprogramming yourself. Also, again, as Africans, we like to say, oh, it's witchcraft. Why give all that power and glory to someone else over your life? Why let someone like human as you have dominion over how your life works? So you need to switch that perspective from, oh, I'm bewitched, oh, I'm cursed, oh, my village people done got me one more time, to speaking life into yourself, speaking life into your manifestations. I'm someone who's like, you know what, when good things happen, they happen fast, they are good, and they last. Like I'm not for the whole, oh, all things must come to an end, good things. The only things that need to come to an end and that will come to an end are my dark days, are my bad days, are my hustle days. So you need to speak life into yourself. You need to rewire and reprogram your mental and stop giving power and dominion to witchcraft and generational curses. Like, we've had enough of that as Africans, we've had enough of that as humans. It is time to take charge of your own reality by speaking life into yourself, by speaking positivity into yourself, and learning to be conscious about the thoughts that you think surrounding what you are worthy of, because we are all worthy of good things, especially if you have a good soul and a good heart and you put in the work. When it also comes to your mind, you have to be able to catch yourself in the negative thoughts, because when you let your mind run wild, that's when you subconsciously sabotage yourself. That's when you speak without even thinking. That's when you, instead of speaking life into yourself and into what you're trying to build, you unintentionally sabotage yourself. You unintentionally sabotage your blessings and your relationships. So it's about catching yourself in those limiting thoughts, in those limiting belief systems that you've built around manifestations and visualizations and your blessings, and being super aware and intentional about how you speak on your blessings, about how you invite blessings, and most importantly, how you allow yourself to receive and feel worthy of those blessings. I want you to know and remember that you are not cursed. You are not under a spell. Your village people are not after you every time you've been working on something and it doesn't go well or it doesn't last. It's about evolving at this stage. And as the year is ending, I feel like moving into 2026, we need to be able to live our best lives and the softest life possible. And that starts with taking control of your mind. That starts with reprogramming how you think about your life. That starts with taking ownership of what you want for yourself and speaking life into yourself, and evolving from old patterns, limiting belief systems, whether you built it yourself or it's a generational thing that was passed to you by your parents. Now is the time to take charge of your destiny and find your purpose and be intentional about the life you want to build, and knowing that there's no room for self-sabotage, there's no room or power or principalities that can take away the destiny that you're moving towards, the path that you're walking on, the journey that you have decided to step into. It's a self-evolutionary journey to say, look, I'm identifying these patterns. These are the things that it has done for me, and these are the things that it has taken away from me, and this is how I'm going to take back my power. This is how I'm going to call back my power. I'm no longer going to speak on, oh, it's because in our house people have diabetes, so I will have diabetes eventually, so I might as well drink 10 cans of Coke in a day. Or it's because in our house we don't get married, so I might as well just be a hoe and not, care for these niggas. In our house, ABC 1 2 3. You can be that curse breaker, you can be that pattern breaker, as you should be, and it doesn't even matter how long you've been in that pattern. The day you decide and say, I'm choosing different, I'm evolving, I want to become who I know I can, things start to move in that direction, because now you're intentional about it. And every single day when you wake up, you would literally, intentionally, consciously, you want to know what's funny? Sometimes the witchcraft is you. Sometimes the witchcraft is actually you. Sometimes the witchcraft is your self-doubt. Sometimes the witchcraft is that itchiness you feel just to sabotage the good thing that just walked into your life, the relationship that you are building with your partner. Sometimes the witchcraft is you speaking negativity over your life. So again, it's about reprogramming. It's about reframing and reaffirming to yourself that you are worthy of all the beautiful things, all the good things that come to your life, and they are welcomed, and they are welcome to stay for the very long time, for the longest of time. So stop fighting your blessings and just align with them, just receive them, be open to receiving. And one thing I've also realized is part of the witchcraft is not fully accepting your blessings. Like, you prayed for these things, why are you now focused on destroying it by being like, oh no, it's too good to be true, this can't be real, and this is something that you prayed for. A quote that I really love, which is, God, give me the wisdom to multiply my manifestations and the discipline to keep them. And I want to add to that quote, which is, give me the discernment to make the right choices, to grow my manifestations, to receive my manifestations, and to accept my manifestations. So closing off this episode, again, I want you to know that you are worthy of good things happening to you, and them coming in fast and coming in with ease, and you receiving them because you asked for them. I know it might shock your nervous system that things can actually go well, can actually come easy. These are the manifestations that you've asked God for, that you've prayed for, that you've called in. So it's a matter of knowing and feeling and programming your mind that, yes, I am worthy of these things. I'm open to receiving them and enjoying them and experiencing them to the fullest. So yes, that is it for this episode. Like I said, I would love for us to have a conversation about this topic. I would love to hear your perspective. I would love for us to have a conversation about this. So let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. Has your perspective changed regarding your manifestations and how they come in and how long they last? And have you recognized patterns of how you might be self-sabotaging your blessings and manifestations and blaming it on witchcraft, whereas your mind is the witchcraft? But yes, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.